Welcome to the 1977 League Championship Series. Introducing the National League Eastern Division champions, Philadelphia Phillies, and the 1977 National League Western Division champions, your Los Angeles Dodgers.
Those are always great series, as you know, 77 and 78. It always came down to us and the Phillies. For some reason, we knew that we could beat the Phillies, no matter during the course of the year what the series was. I believe one year the Phillies beat us handily, but when we got to the playoffs, we always seemed to come out for the best. They're always great series, always great games. Anything can happen.
With the series even at one game apiece in 1977, Game 3 was a memorable battle with more than its share of close calls, including this disputed play at home plate. A 2-0 Dodger lead was short-lived as Bert Hooton faced a second-inning collapse. Unable to find the strike zone, Hooton fell prey to a Philadelphia madhouse.
3-2 to Christensen, 2 outs, bases loaded. Low ball 4, he walked him to fourth in a run. Well, that's the intimidating influence of Philadelphia fans. They can hurt an opposing team just with the noise level that you hear. Low, he walked him and forced in another run. Boone scores. This game is tied.
3 straight walks for Bert Hooton. Unusual for him. He has good control.
This is a part of the home field advantage at Veterans Stadium. These fans are alive. It's only the second inning. He forces in another run. 3 straight runs forced in by Bert Hooton, and here comes Tom Lasorda. This will be all for Hooton.
Hooton left the game with a final show of frustration as Philly fans reveled. Philadelphia carried a 5-3 lead into the 9th. Reliever Gene Garber retired the first 8 batters he faced.
Change up, ground ball, second base, should be 2 up. That's 2 outs.
It was 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning, and I put Davalillo into pinch hit for Yeager.
A drag bunt, it's a beauty by Davalillo.
Then I put Manny Mota into hit for the pitcher.
Fans are shouting defense. What an incredible crowd here at Veterans Stadium. The 2-strike pitch, fly ball deep left. Luzinski going away back, and this ball is trapped by Luzinski. It's a double for Manny Mota. Gets away, coming in to score Davalillo. It's now a 5-4 ball game, and this game not over yet.
In just a few minutes, what had appeared to be a certain Phillies win hung in the balance and on the shoulders of speedster Davey Lopes.
Here's Davey Lopes, game on the line. Ground ball off Smith. Taboa, a throw. Yes, no, not in time. This game is tied, and we have an argument.
You know, to be honest with you, if he had called me out, I couldn't argue. But it was so close. I can't see where everyone could say, well, he definitely was safe or he definitely was out. If you ask Boa today, he'll probably say he definitely was out.
I got rid of the ball exceptionally quick and threw to first, and to this day, Davey Lopes is out. If you slow it down, watch it in slow motion, the ball did beat Davey.
I saw Boa the following spring training. He didn't even say hi to me. The first thing he said, you were still out. You were out.
That play's still talked about in Philadelphia, and it's called the play.
That seemed to be the momentum change for the Dodgers, and it kind of put Philadelphia in a precarious situation, and something I don't think they ever overcame.
With the score tied, Lopes advanced to second on an errant pickoff throw from Garber. Garber's last chance of redemption, Bill Russell.
2 outs, 9th inning. Lopes is running, a base hit to center field, and Davey Lopes is going to score, and the Dodgers have taken a 6-5 lead in the 9th. What a comeback by the Los Angeles Dodgers.
The Dodgers miraculously won 6-5, needing one more victory to close out the series in 4 games.
Ron Say, Steve Garvey, and Dusty Baker. All 4 of those hit 30 home runs or more this year. Young Glenn Burke for Rick Mundy in center, Steve Yeager, and Tommy John the battery. Lopes settles in as Carlton, 23 wins, 10 losses on the year, goes to work. And the first pitch fouled out of play. So Lopes and the Dodgers couldn't wait for it to get going. He goes after the first serve.
Well, you heard Tommy Lasorda, and he just
kind of reiterated the same phrase that we made up here on the opening. They want to get going. The pitchers want to pitch. They want to play. 1 ball, 1 strike. There are the numbers on Steve Carlton, finishing nearly half of his 36 starts. Foul back, and it's 1-2. Well, Don, every major league ball player has worked in adverse elements and have had to play in the rain, and certainly in much worse conditions than this. And we just hope that it does not rain harder. Right here, one of the great advantages, not only here at the Vet, but also all over baseball, that has the artificial turf. The last rain out here has been August 6th of 1975, so they get them in. Out remains 2-2 on Davey Lopes. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball, intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures. Lined right to the second baseman. Ted Sizemore in the right place to capture Lopes' line shot. Without the express consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Bill Russell. He hit that base hit right through the legs of Garber in the 9th inning to win it for the Dodgers yesterday. We're going to be seeing 2 different kinds of pitchers tonight. Carlton, a power pitcher. He'll try to throw the fastball by, and he's got that wicked hook. There it was. And is not afraid to pitch high on occasion, whereas Tommy John must keep the ball low. 3-1. The thing where you might notice a little difference on the artificial turf when you do have rain, of course, on the infield, you will not notice any difference. On the outfield, you might get the ball to skid on you. It'll be a little slippery. Ball hit to left field. That's the Bull, Greg Lazinski. 2 away. And after that tough play yesterday, you can see Greg Lazinski right up on the balls of his feet on anything hit his direction. 2 gone to Reggie Smith, the switch-hitting right fielder of the Dodgers, who finished at 307. Hit to right. Make Mcbride. Dodgers are out in order in the first inning, to the delight of Philadelphia fans. The Bills come up, no score. The Philadelphia Phillies, champions of the East, best batting average as a team of any National League club. Make Mcbride leads it off. Great purchase by the Phils when they acquired him by trade from St. Louis. And the scrappy Larry Boa, the power guys, Schmidt and Lazinski, both nearly hit 40 home runs. And Hebner batting left against the left-handed pitcher John. He did not start on Monday night. Maddox in center, McCarver, the veteran behind the plate, Sizemore at second, and Carlton, a good hitter himself, the pitcher. And how about Tommy John, Don? Tommy John is the sinker slider type pitcher, or curve slider slurve. It's kind of in between the curve and the slider. Tommy is not going to overpower you whatsoever. Every now and then, why, he might sneak a fastball by you. He's got to have his good control. He's going to be nipping at all the corners, on the inside, the outside. He'll set you up. He's got that good curve ball that he can bring down and into the right-hand hitters like Whitey Ford used to do. But his secret is control, and he must keep the ball down. The Phillies knocked John out of the opener. You know that these Philly fans are not enamored of the umpires going into this game. Dave Mcbride. Great year for the Philadelphia outfielder, coming back from knee problems last year in St. Louis. Once ran a 9.8 in college. Phillies trying to muster some offense. Mcbride had his 14-game hitting streak snapped yesterday. 12 regular season and the first 2 playoff games. We'll look at Tommy John early, and you watch his control. You can just set from our center field camera when we have it. You can watch Steve Yeager. You can look at the glove. You can see for yourself. Sitting at home in your viewing audience, you can see whether he's got the good control. Bounces that curveball, and it's 2-1. But if John is on, when he's missing, he will be missing low. He's got to miss low. He misses high, and he's in all kinds of trouble. That's Davey Lopes, and 1 away. Now an easy hopper to the second baseman. Lopes gets Mcbride, brings up shortstop Larry Boa. Light rain continues to fall, and we'll know if it's getting bad by the dirt cutout areas around the bases and the mound at home plate. So far, so good. It appears that it is even lightening up just a little bit, but it is still coming down. 2-1. Boa taking all the way. I've got to believe with the National League President Chub Feeney here in town, and they started in this, they are going to finish it sometime tonight. High hopper Say is just tall enough and strong enough to get Boa. Good play by the third baseman of the Dodgers. Ron Say, he got as high as he could go. If that's how high a penguin jumps, that's what they call it. That's how high Say went. And then he got the grip, the throw just in time to get him on a close play. 2 outs in the Philly first inning as Dodger lefty Tommy John looks into Mike Schmidt. He has only 1 hit in the series thus far. He's got to be a key, Dick, as you mentioned, the 1 hit just in 13 times at bat. He's got to get a hot batter. Philadelphia could be in trouble. His 1 hit was a money hit, was the winning run in the first game out in Los Angeles. Strike 2. What was his comment after the loss yesterday? Well, Mike Schmidt said in today's paper, he said, if we cannot beat Tommy John at home, we do not deserve to be in the World Series. Just that simple. 2-strike pitch. Chop to third. In time. So both sides retired in order. And after 1 inning in wet Philadelphia, the Dodgers nothing and the Phils nothing. Yesterday, over 63,719 to be exact, the second largest in Philadelphia history, second only to the All-Star game last year. Ron Say leads off the Dodger second inning. Say making a good play in the bottom of the first inning, and with the wetness of the carpet, any play adds a little toughness tonight for both sides. Carlton appears to be throwing more breaking balls in the early going than his heater. Even over at Dodger Stadium, he threw an awful lot of breaking balls, and he got in trouble in the late innings when he did finally have to come out of the game, throwing straight up in the air, very erect. Falls behind, 3-0. He misses, and that's the first base runner of the game as Carlton walks Ron Say. That leadoff walk, one of the no-nos in the game of baseball, brings up Steve Garvey. Garvey hitting just under 300 on the year, as Tom Lasorda pointed out, 33 home runs and 115 RBIs to lead the club. High to shallow center. It's Gary Maddox. 1 away. Now, quite in contrast, the two pitchers. The 4 outs with Carlton on the mound have been in the air. The 3 outs with John were all on the ground. You're going to see a lot of balls hit in the air off of Carlton because he'll keep that fastball up a little bit. He has got an overpowering fastball when he is right. And, of course, the curveball, that overhand curveball, and you see a lot of hitters, they'll pop those in the air, too. That ball way up in the air, noticing at the last moment, kind of drifted back towards center, the breeze blowing from the right field foul line to the left field foul line. Yeah, you see the first move by Carlton to first base, picked off 21 this year, and was called for a balk in game 1. Ooh, good stop by McCarver. Carlton keeping an eye on Say. 2-0. Hit well to left field. Lazinski going back. And Baker will touch them all. The Dodgers lead 2-0. You could just about hear a pin drop here at Veterans Stadium right now. A few scatterings of the Dodger wives, and you see the greeting that he gets at the Dodger dugout. Ron Say, of course, at first base, that ball hit very well. Watch this reaction. They can be cheerleaders, too. The batter is Glenn Burke. First pitch was a strike, and he fouls off that delivery from Carlton. It's 0-2 to Burke. Young man, 24 years of age, from Berkeley, California. Went to the University of Nevada, Reno on a basketball scholarship. Carlton not sharp so far tonight, Dick, and has been wild high. High again, and it's 2-2. There you see the case that we talked about before in Los Angeles, not bending that back, not following through, releasing that ball high, and just spinning it up there. Mike Schmidt gets the speedy Burke, and there's 2 away. Schmidt, a superb defensive player. Steve Yeager, the Dodger catcher. A lot of people talk about pitchers that have great arms, that throw hard, and their legs and things like that, but they never realize that one of the strongest assets that a power pitcher can have is that lower back. And when you don't use it, that's what happens. You start getting pitches up. Wicked hook just missed inside. Yeager enjoyed his best year in home runs, 16, and RBIs, 55. Well, that center field camera shot, you can really, you talk about wrapping it. He comes back, he's got that wrist really tucked in. Watch that left wrist of Steve Carlton if we get a chance. On the curveball. That was not the curveball, naturally. Good location. That's a tough pitch. Late Charlie Dressen used to call that the deep cutting curve. Old Uncle Charlie. And Carlton has his first strikeout, but the Dodgers have their first hit, and it's a home run by Dusty Baker. And after an inning and a half, LA 2, the Phils nothing. Dusty Baker. The Dodgers have scored 20 runs in this championship series, and Baker has driven in 8 of them. And it's 2-0 Los Angeles as the Phils come up in the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Lazinski, Hebner, and Maddox for Philadelphia. The Bull is the only Philadelphia player to hit safely in the first 3 games, 1 in each. Well, John with the comfort of an early 2-0 lead. Lazinski, a high school football star. How would you like to try to knock those legs out from beneath him? Boy, he is put together. He's got that short, compact stroke. It reminds me of Harmon Killebrew. He's learned he doesn't have to overswing with all that strength. He falls behind 1-2. Dusty Baker has set a new National League Championship Series record with his 8 RBIs. Henry Aaron had 7. He did it in 3 games in the '69 series. And Lazinski, there's that sinker that looks good enough when it's on its way, but isn't a good hitting pitch when it arrives at home plate. John has his first strikeout as you take the bird's eye view from our Creepy Peepee way out there in center field. Richie Hebner. And Hebner delivers. The Phillies have their first hit. Well, some of the sounds will be muffled because the fans under the various rain gear can't free their hands, but you can bet if the Phils get any kind of a rally, they could care less about the rain. Jerry Maddox, 1 out. 2-0 Dodgers here in the second. Base hit. Fast fielding by Glenn Burke. And the Phils have the tying run on in the form of Maddox at first base. Well, here's a case where Tommy John has been around long enough, and we've commented before that when your club can get you some runs, if you can go back in that next half inning and shut the opposition out to get right back at bat again at such a psychological edge that is just unbelievable. Tommy John right now, of course, he's got the one out. He's still got the double play in order, and he's got the left-handed hitting catcher Jim McCarver there, so he can still get out of the trouble. McCarver, who catches all of Steve Carlton's games, and with spot duty, hit a solid .320 this year. He'll be 36 next month. He's going for a 3-run home run with that cut. 0-2. He got him. Second strikeout for John. Brings up second baseman Ted Sizemore. Well, there was that good sinker just down and in on McCarver. He challenged him twice with 2 sinkers inside. Timmy couldn't get a piece of it. With Hebner at second, Maddox at first, 2 outs. Sizemore tries to keep the inning going. Tommy John's the type of pitcher that when you go back to the bench after striking out or popping up or grounding out, you say, why? And all of a sudden at the end of the day, you go 0 for 4, and you're still saying, why? Yeah, they come back there saying, if someone asks, what's he guy say? He hasn't got anything. That's right. But he straps an offer on your back. That's exactly. And he did that a few times with 20 wins this year. Tough play for John. No play. The bases are loaded. Swinging bunt for Sizemore. There was only one play, and that might have been to third, but Say had already committed himself, and once John got the ball, you just take it, stick it in your back pocket, and say, I hope I can get Carlton now. Carlton was 2 for 2 in the opening night game at Dodger Stadium and knocked in a run. He can swing the bat. This year he hit .265. 3 home runs and knocked in 15. The same as yesterday. Bases loaded, and the Philly fans come to their feet. Rain or no rain. Curved him again, and it's 1-1. Low. The action pitch, 2-1. Brought that sinker low and in. This is where John's got to be standing out there, and he's just having a little clubhouse meeting with himself and saying, Tommy, for crying out loud, there's no way that you can lose this man. Low. 3-2, 2 outs. They'll wind him up and let all 3 runners go. Hebner from third, Maddox from second, Sizemore from first, and John a little thought walk. Tommy John is just going to get back. He is going to try and settle himself as these fans come to their feet one more time. Tommy Lasorda saying, not again, boys. Got him with ball 4 it appeared. A sinker inside, and John is the happiest of the Dodgers going into the dugout after 2. It's the Dodgers 2, the Phils nothing. And now we're going to our news center in Washington for late headlines with Bob Jameson. Innings of play. A dramatic bottom of the second as the Phils had 3 hits. But Tommy John recorded 3 strikeouts, getting Carlton to end the inning. I tell you, Dick, I'm not too sure whether they're going to have him come out. They're all looking at home plate umpire Bruce Fromming. From that same location, Chubb sitting at the right field side of the Philly dugout. On the left field side of the Dodger dugout, Dodger president Peter O'Malley, he's sitting there, and he is uncovered also, watching what's going on. And right now, he's a happy young president. I think probably that's true for the fans, too. They don't want it stopped, but on the other hand, if it does get muddy around the mound and home plate, then they're going to be forced to hold play. They did not use any compound, absorbent compound, although the grounds crew has that available. John, not a bad hitter for a pitcher. Count is 1-1. Schmidt with another chance, and he gets John easily. Where I've got to believe, Dick, that we're going to be here a while, regardless of what happens. And if there is a rain delay, we've started in the rain, and you could almost bet your house and lot that they would not call a game like this in a deciding factor if the Dodgers were ahead after 5 innings. They're going to wait here until the wee hours of the morning. We're in the third. Dusty Baker's 2-run homer giving the Dodgers the early lead. Lopes lined to second his first time up. That one bouncing to the screen. 2-0. High again. Don't want to walk Lopes. He's the top base runner for the Dodgers and 2-time National League stolen base champion. But he loses him on 4 pitches. It was the leadoff walk in the second that became a run when Baker homered. Now we'll focus on Steve Carlton and his battle with the base runner Davey Lopes. Lopes 47 steals this year after stealing 77 and 63 the 2 prior seasons to win the National League Championship against Carlton, who has picked off 21 men. No complaint by either Lopes or first base coach Jim Gilliam on that one. And on the heavy track, although once you get off that sliding area, the dirt area, it shouldn't be a big factor. It may be that Lopes will not seriously want to run. And they've got that old left-hander's manual, look to home and throw to first, look to first and throw to home. Wonder who made that. That's one of the great copyrights of all time. Bill Russell takes ball 1. Well, Maury Will certainly took advantage of that. He was one of the first to really decry that as one of the major things to look for with a left-hander. If he's looking at you, that's the time to steal because he's probably going home. Could be 2. Boa to Sizemore to Hebner. That's it for the Dodgers in the 3rd inning. To the middle of the 3rd, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers 2, the Philadelphia Phillies nothing. Get the Kansas City Royals and New York Yankees, and the final game of the American League playoffs, the winner to the World Series. That'll be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time here on NBC. Mcbride grounded out first trip. John pitching out of trouble in the second, leads 2-0. He got him. It's 1-1. John has been successful with the inside sinker to the left-handed batters. Say gets Mcbride. Ron Say with his 3rd assist already. Larry Boa, he hit that high chopper to the Penguin in the 1st inning that Say leaped high to stab and throw him out. Lopes. That was a tough chance, a lot tougher than it looked. That ball was skidding on Davey Lopes. It really was, and that's what we've talked about before, as that turf starts to get a little wet. That ball will really scoot on you. The second hop, they say, is the tough one on the carpet. It'll play tricks, and you say to yourself, I see it, but all of a sudden, that ball is just chewing you alive. Mike Schmidt, 1 for 14 in the series. At Steve Garvey with his first chance, and Tommy John has another 1-2-3 inning, all on ground balls. We've completed 3 in rainy Philadelphia, where the Dodgers lead it 2-0. Dodgers, it'll be Reggie Smith, then Ron Say, and Steve Garvey. Third base coach Preston Gomez of the Dodgers pointing up to the press area. Apparently a light, or someone has a light bothering the infielders. Oh, it's the television light. That's not ours. Of course, it's being televised by the 2 local clubs, too, back to their home base. Base hit. Once it eluded the pitcher Carlton, Smith had himself a single. As you watch Carlton on that last pitch, you can watch his follow-through. Look at him wrap that curve to start with, if you could pick that up. Now right straight and recoiling, and then had no chance. His weight was moving back. He had no chance to come forward to take that little skip hop to get into position to make the play. Lead-off hit by Smith brings up Say. Ron walked to lead off the second inning and then scored on Baker's second playoff series home run. You'll see a lot of the power pitchers and good curveball pitchers throw against that stiff front leg. 2 strikes, both on the curveball. But you've got to be very careful that you don't get into a position and get into a habit of recoiling, as Steve did on that last slow motion pitch that we saw on the base hit to Smith. Could be 2. Boa, Sizemore, Hebner, double play. Nicely turned to second for the Philly infield. This is a prescription right from the drugstore. Nice little 2-hopper right to Boa, to Teddy Sizemore, turns it over easily, and they double up Say with ease. Look at that. 2 little hops, nice little, just like you learn in spring training. Just bang, bang, and it's all over. Well, that reminds me of that play today in Kansas City where Nettles in the second inning went head-on with Frank White and appeared to hit him with his head. He had a headache and yet came out and won the game. Actually, it was his RBI single that made it 5-4 as the Yanks went on to a 6-4 win. Are they playing aggressively in that series? They are at that. I'll tell you, they both had to check the fillings, I think, after the game was over. They might have lost them around second base. Garvey pounds it foul. Well, Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek are in Kansas City tomorrow night for all the marbles in the American League at 8 o'clock. Will it be the Yankees or the Royals? You'll see it here on NBC. Good live tailing fastball by Carlton. It's 1-2 to Garvey. Jim Murray, the columnist for the Los Angeles Times, had the greatest line on Luzinski, and I just hope he's up there a while, because it's, well, it's not going to be that. That's trouble. Smith. He's got a great arm, and Luzinski respects it. A long single by Greg Luzinski. The first time he struck him out on a low away sinker. This time, Luzinski just looking for it out there. It was up just a little bit if you're a sinker ball pitcher, and just hit it off the end of the bat. Didn't hit it that well, but with his power, you could see where Smith had to go to get it. Richie Hebner singled in the second inning. Hebner, of course, with playoff and World Series experience with the Pittsburgh Pirates. That could be trouble. Base hit. Luzinski to third. Smith having trouble in the corner. It'll be a double for Hebner. And listen to Philadelphia. Now Richie Hebner, as we said before, kind of a surprise, but evidently Danny Ozark certainly knew what he was doing. As you watch Reggie Smith play it off the wall, came right back to him. Got it back into Davey Lopes very quickly, and now the Phillies threaten here. Oh, Hebner, a late addition to the lineup for Philadelphia, has 2 hits with no one out. Philadelphia has the tying run at second. Gary Maddox single to center, his first time up. One run will score. And Russell, boy, he needed a strong arm to get Maddox as Luzinski gives Philadelphia its first run. On the play, Hebner holds at second. Tim McCarver with a tying run at second. 1 out, 2-1, Los Angeles. McCarver struck out his first time. I love McCarver's line about catching Carlton. All of his games are old buddies, hunting and fishing buddies. He said, when we die, they'll probably bury us 60 feet, 6 inches apart. Jimmy's done a good job for the Phillies. 1-1. 1-2. That's the same pitch that got him back in the second inning. For John, his 4th strikeout, and he saved the strikeout for the tough spots. Teddy Sizemore right here, and you see the first pitch down and away, and you've got to figure that Tommy John is going to keep it out there as they bunch him a little bit to the right side. Center fielder Burke slightly over in right center. And if he misses out there, that's ball 2. He'll just stay out there. And it'd be very surprising to me to see Burke in right center, Lopes back deep at second base with Garvey a little bit off the line at first. Smith not very deep in right field. Surprise me, I'd fall out of the booth if he comes inside. Ebner, the tying run at second, 2 outs in the 4th. Now they'll probably put him on. Well, a lot of people have said, trying to talk about speeding up the game of baseball. Why don't they just put him on right here? Well, there's still the situation is Teddy Sizemore walks. You might throw a wild pitch to move the guy to third. You might throw another one. He might score. You never know. Or you might have Sizemore lean out over the plate and hit a little dunker down the right field line. So that's part of it. Those ideas, I don't think they're going to get too far. Well, Carlton, for the second time tonight, has a chance to help himself. Oh, trying to bunt his way on. 1-2. So John strikes out Carlton for the second time with men aboard, but the Phillies do get back on the board with 1. And after 4 in Philadelphia, the Dodgers 2, the Phils 1. It'll be Baker, Burke, and Yeager in that order as we go to the Dodger 5th. Baker throw that curveball at him. Took him this time for a while. The count of ball and a strike. It was Baker's home run in the second inning to give the Dodgers the 2-0 lead at the time. Carlton fell behind him then. He has fallen behind him now, 2-1. 3-1. And he walks him. And the Dodgers have their leadoff man aboard here in the 5th inning. That is walk number 3 for Carlton. And we'll bring up Burke. He bounced to the third baseman Schmidt his first time at bat. And Tommy Lasorda going to play for another run. And he turns around and gives him the green light. Got him looking. That is just a second strikeout for Carlton, but it got him in a great place. Well, the Phillies have decided to counter maybe Mr. Tom Lasorda. That is great Dodger in the sky, you might say.
When Lasorda made that comment after the 3-run 9th inning yesterday, then Danny Ozark said, hey, I go to church too.
I know. Here's Yeager, and they will keep the runner at first base, Dusty Baker, close. Well, they were having a ball, weren't they? Got the umbrella out, and they're rooting for their Phillies.
Well, it'll be a heavenly night for Philadelphia if they can force it to Game 5.
0-1 to Yeager. He has 2 hits in 10 trips in this playoff series. See Steve kind of trying to keep the barrel of that bat dry. Shake him around in the Dodger dugout. 0-2 the count. There's one gone in the Dodger 5th inning, and they lead it 2-1. The Yankees have won. They will go to Game 5 with Kansas City. Count remains 0-2 to Yeager. Well, watching that game this afternoon, Dick, what a job Sparky Lyle did. Unbelievable.
Talk about pressure. He knew he was in there till the end of the game.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
We ran into Catfish Hunter in the parking lot as we left Yankee Stadium after Game 2, and he indicated he'd be ready for Game 5, but word is that Billy Martin will go with the left-hander Guidry tomorrow.
Yeager staying off of that high fastball, evens the count at 2-2.
But wouldn't that be something if the Catfish, who's won so many big playoff and World Series games, got an unusual call tomorrow?
It will be Kansas City in staff, the Yankees in staff. That's when you get to the point to say there's no need to worry about a tired arm. You've got all winter to rest it up. There's that curveball, not following down through and leaving it up high. Ron Cey tonight has walked and scored and hit into a double play. You see the absorbent compound that they have moved around the batter's box and on the mound.
How long does that help?
Well, it depends on how hard it rains. 2 balls and a strike. If you're into a heavy downpour and you're still playing, well, you're going to be moving out there about every half inning, maybe every inning. But it has just been a steady rain all night long.
Don, I'm sure that President Chub Feeney is receiving reports on the weather and how long it will take before this front moves through. I would think that if they thought it would stop raining in an hour, they might stop play. But perhaps this is an all-nighter, and there's no way that they're going to avoid the precipitation.
And Ron Cey draws a 5th base on balls off of Steve Carlton tonight. That'll bring up Steve Garvey. Garvey is flying to center. He's bounced to third. And now, here comes Danny Ozark out. As we might have some action in the bullpen. We do have action in the bullpen. Ozark moving to the mound. And we could have a possible pitching change. We will have a pitching change as he'll go to the bullpen. Now, Steve Carlton is 23-game winner. He leaves, and he will get a round of applause regardless. There's Garvey's bunt, a throw by Boone to get him. A good play by the young catcher. He came out of there in a hurry. And he got Garvey on a good bunt, and he had some good backspin as Cey moves to second.
Well, that's a heady play. A new catcher, a new pitcher, and Garvey tests them immediately with a bunt on that wet carpet. And Boone, equal to the task, to gun down Garvey on the sacrifice.
Here's Dusty Baker. He put the Dodgers ahead to start with in the second inning. High in the air, and it's playable. Mike Schmidt looking up into the night and the rain and squeezes it.
And perhaps a little added dramatic emphasis just for the umpires to know that it is tough to play tonight.
Well, they all know it's tough to play tonight, Dick, and everybody in the ballpark knows it's tough to play, and you've got to feel for Chub Feeney down that first baseline, and you sit back and say, gee, isn't that great to be a league president or maybe the commissioner when you come to the World Series and get into a situation like this, and all of a sudden you've got to make the decision. You say play or don't play. Chub Feeney has said play, and play they will. This is Glenn Burke taking a strike, and the count is 0-1. 2 gone in the Dodgers' 6th inning. They lead it 4-1. Good slider by Reed. Fooled him badly on the slow curve, and the Dodgers are gone in the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and they leave 1. As we go to the Philadelphia 7th, it's the Dodgers 4 and the Phillies 1.
We're in Los Angeles tonight.
Well, that's what we said at the offset, Dick. If he's going to have his stuff, that will dictate the whole evening for Tommy John. It'll be the ground balls, and as you say, he has been absolutely magnificent tonight.
Bob Boone batting for the first time. He has been the best hitter against Dodger pitching this year. Gets a base hit. The first Philly hit since the 4th inning. And that'll get something going down in the Dodger bullpen. Corner. Mike Garman, who saved the win yesterday in the 9th inning, is the right-hander. And Lance Watson, the left-hander. Just missed inside to Mcbride.
Now Steve Garvey not holding Boone on at first base with the lead, and also with the circumstances around that bag, he is back right at the edge of the carpet to where he can move to his right in a hurry with a left-hand hitter Mcbride at the plate.
There's the sinker. That's the pitch that Don had demonstrated for you.
Just missed him. Whoa, what a play. Steve Yeager with that quick snap throw, and Yeager perhaps does that as well as any catcher in the big leagues. Here's Garvey, as we said, playing behind, and now Boone with a little feint and a quick snap throw right there. And Boone just does get back under the tag. Garvey trying to go down with that knee to slightly block him, but his arm was there.
Here to get him up on the shoulder. As Boone would have said, we'll drum you right out of the catcher's score, Mr. Yeager. You pull that on me.
1-2 to Mcbride. Check this swing, and the call is no swing by the third base umpire, Paul Pryor. He made that very difficult call down the left field line on Lozinski's possible catch yesterday. Here you see Mcbride holding up just in time. That curveball bending around the inside. And Yeager pointing to appeal, but to no avail. But McBride is out anyway as the sinker gets him, and Johns had a big strikeout night. 7 for him. Larry Boa, the hitter, with 2 outs. Foul tip catching Boa. Steve Garvey trying to hold him up. Well, another World Series coming. You know, our director tonight, Harry Coyle, has worked every World Series game ever played. And his crew tonight in the rain, oh, they just don't miss a punch. We've seen every important play from every possible angle. And now the guys out in the bad weather, not very comfortable for them, but they bear down and give you their best shot, their best focus. What man has seen every World Series game played, worked at them all. Right now, it's the Phils and Dodgers trying to get there. Lopes in the right place to get the force. Ball was hit off the end of the bat. That's it for the Phils in the 7th. 2 innings left in Philadelphia. The Dodgers 4, the Phillies 1. World Series, I know who he's pulling for, the Yankees, because that was his dream, to pitch in the World Series against the Yankees in New York. Reggie Smith, one of the many Dodgers to have a big year, and there were so many of those stories for Los Angeles. Well, he was one of the 4 that set that all-time Major League record with 4 30 or more home run men on a ball club. Reggie finished with 32. He had 32. Steve Garvey had 33. Dusty Baker and Ron Say, each with 30 apiece. Well, that sanguine manager of the Dodgers, he was a piece of work again on our little rain delay at the start, Tom Lasorda. You can imagine what it'll be like if the Dodgers win it in that clubhouse behind third base. Well, he'll have the writers going through 3 pads of notes trying to keep up with his verbiage. Quiet now. Guy. Just missed with a screwball, and McGraw now runs the count full. I had a chance to play with Tommy at Montreal in 1955 when he came down from Brooklyn. Foul. He still refers to himself as the Warren Spahn of the International League. You know, he's set and still holds the all-time International League record for most wins, and it probably will hold for all time. He won 125 for Montreal, and with the way players are accelerated up to the big leagues now, if they have talent, it's unlikely anyone's going to beat that mark. Smith leads off the 8th with a walk. First walk allowed by McGraw. Lasorda grew up in nearby Norristown, Pennsylvania, signed by the Phillies, but spent most of his life professional baseball in the Dodger organization, waited patiently, and finally got a chance to be the skipper of what he calls the Big Blue Wrecking Crew.
That's what they call them, the Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Ron Say, 2 walks and a double play off the bat of Say tonight. Runner goes. And Boone on that wet baseball can't make a throw, and Smith has the first steal of the game. Reggie Smith, very talented all-around athlete. Well, there's a tough slide at second base as we look at again on that damp dirt. There's the first bag that they have not put any of that sorbent compound around, and as Smith slides, he just stuck. And we'll look at it again. He jammed that knee, and now down to look at it, you see that leg getting caught under, and he really doesn't go too far. He's got to reach out with that hand. I would guess, Don, if you took all of, they call him Superstar, the Dodgers, his nickname. If you were to get all of the Major League Baseball players together, he might be the best acrobat, gymnast of them all. I mean, he can do round-offs, full somersaults in the air, that sort of thing. But kind of like you and rain delays, right? Oh, I'm just thinking about that popular song of a few years ago. Raindrops keep falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for the bed, nothing seems to fit. And for the Phillies, that poetry seems all too appropriate tonight. Say trying to add to the Dodger lead. Good stop by Boone. And that's Tug's second strikeout. 1 out, Garvey the hitter. That Lasorda actually had a cup of coffee and, well, as they say when you're up briefly, a cup of coffee, no cream, no sugar, 3 different years. He was up twice with the Dodgers, had no record. His major league record as a left-handed pitcher, no wins, 4 losses. And it came at Kansas City with the old A's, and he might just be heading that way. It'll be either Kansas City or the Yankees, and that will be decided tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. It rains harder as they walk Garvey intentionally. Baker the batter, 2 on, 1 out. Baker, he has to be in the running for the MVP of this series. 8 RBIs, a new National League playoff record, a grand slam home run. 2 RBIs yesterday, knocked in 2 more with his home run tonight. He scored twice. Bills can ill afford more Dodger runs. 4-1. Shallow to right, a tough play. Mcbride outrunning that one. Boy, that tested that sore knee as Bake had to really sprint hard to catch up with it. Well, he got a good jump on the ball. The ball hung for him. And with his great speed, able to come on and make the catch relatively easily. 2 outs to Glenn Burke, or will they use a pinch hitter? No, Burke will bat for himself. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the Phils, as we sneak a look ahead, have Schmidt, Lazinski, and Hebner scheduled. Now, you're Tommy John, Don, and you're sitting in the dugout knowing you're going to have to face those 3 men next. You've got to be thinking that if you can get through that heavy part of the lineup, you might be in good shape. That's exactly right. That's when you got to go out. This is an awful big inning coming up for Tommy John. Screwball has Burke way out in front. 0-2 the count. So McGraw gets out of the 8th inning, striking out Burke. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Look at McGraw. He's going to get him going. Hey, I've got to like him for that. We go to the 8th inning, 4-1 Dodgers. Last of the 8th inning. You saw Tug McGraw sprint off the field, encouraging his teammates and this crowd. Let's get going. 6 outs away from victory. Tommy John. Here he is. There's a left-hander from Southern California. He wants something to happen. Going back in that dugout and saying, let's go, guys. We're only down 3. We've been down before 3, and maybe more has come back. And Phillies firepower ready in the 8th inning to test John, who still has not allowed a fly ball out. Schmidt, one of the keys to the Dodgers' success thus far, they've been able to shackle Schmidt. He's 1 for 16. John 5-7 lifetime against the Phils. What a hit, the champ. Ball 2. The Dodger bullpen is busy. Garman and Rotson. Garman, the right-hander. Smith taking all away, gets ball 3. In the darkness of the Philly dugout, Danny Ozark, and he has Schmidt taking. The Phillies need base runners. That's exactly right. They need men on those sacks somewhere. They're down 3. The Dodgers 4 and the Phillies 1. 3-1. Schmidt asking, wasn't that high? Ball 4. Only the second walk allowed by John. The Dodgers have taken advantage of 2 innings where their leadoff man walked in the second, and Baker homered for 2 runs. In the 5th, Baker walked to lead off the inning, and the Dodgers scored 2. And now the Phillies get a leadoff man free ticket. As Luzinski comes to the plate, Tommy Lasorda going to keep a good eye on Tommy John, because a very definite sign of a sinker ball pitcher, when he starts to tire, that sinker starts to rise, and he threw 2 of them right there. 1 for a strike, then he walked him on 1. Luzinski pops it high into the rain. Burke and Smith, the right fielder Smith, has the first out of the inning. Oh, was that ball hit high. Yeager just about snapped a neck muscle on this one. He might have thought it was up in the air, and there it is. He said, yes, sir, baby. It is playable. Go get him leather. And when Luzinski hits it, and he got all the wood on it, he just got under it a bit too much. I wonder if Yeager might have thought at first, will that thing come down in the field of play? Well, you hope on those type of fly balls, you just say to yourself, man, if that comes down, I hope it's an out. Richie Hebner, the only Phil with 2 hits tonight. He singled in the second, his double in the 4th, set up the only Philadelphia score. That is the first fly ball out for the Dodgers tonight, Dick. Hit to right and hit well. Smith going back has a play. That ball dying near the track, and there's 2 away. As you look at Mike Smith going back to first base, it just kind of sticks out in the back of your mind what we said at the offset. Mike Smith was quoted as saying that if we can't beat Tommy John at home, we don't deserve to be in the series. Tough play for Say. Safe. Maddox beats out a Baltimore chop to third. And the tying run will come to the plate in the form of pinch hitter Jerry Martin. First time that the Phils have had 2 base runners since their scoring inning, the 4th. And now the rains come back. On the corner, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is KGW-TV, Channel 8, Portland.
Martin is not a home run hitter. He hit 6 this year. And Say has the play right there at third. The inning is over as John throws another ground ball. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left, 1 inning remaining. It's 4-1 Dodgers.
Enjoy World Series drama with your official 1977 World Series program, the same one sold at the ballpark. This 80-page program is a sure collector's item with color features on the 4 divisional winners, plus stories on past World Series. Look for the program at select newsstands, or order your copy by sending check or money order for $2.50 to World Series Program, Box 666, San Francisco, California, 94101.
Preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball. And the 5th and final game of the American League Championship Series tomorrow night from Royal Stadium in Kansas City. Ron Guidry, or Catfish Hunter for the Yankees, against the Kansas City Royals. And for Kansas City, they'll come back Whitey Herzog. Paul Splittorff will be on the left-hander. beat the Yankees in Game 1. Well, you know, Dick, a lot of people, and I'm sure they're going to read about it across the country, and especially here in Philadelphia, playing the game under these conditions. But conditions as they may be, as it first started out, they will equal both sides. So you really can't say too much. You'd like to play them under better conditions, but I'll tell you, probably one of the toughest jobs that National League President Chub Feeney had to do was make the decision to play this game tonight. He certainly didn't want to do it, but you run into a time problem and logistics problem with the two ball clubs here going to wherever they might go with the World Series starting on Tuesday. And as you said before, he's trying to give everybody an equal shot. Gene Garber comes in. He was the man victimized in the 9th inning yesterday, the top relief pitcher for the Phils this season. Garber came in the 7th inning, retired the side in order. The 8th inning, 1-2-3, first 2 men in the 9th. And then when the Phillies seemed to have Game 3 won, the old men took over. Davey and Mota. And before it was over, the Dodgers with a comeback 6-5 victory. Yeager 1 for 3 tonight. Danny Ozark's bullpen has checked the Dodgers, who scored their 4 runs off the starter Steve Carlton. Hit to right center. Gary Maddox has the first out. And Tommy John comes up, a single and 3 trips. And it'll be tough for the Philly fans to applaud him. Now listen to that. You like to hear that. There's some that are acknowledging his effort tonight. Well, they realize that when he gets a good round of applause here at Veterans Stadium, they appreciate talent, and Tommy John has thrown it right out there on the line tonight. Now, Don, I know you went through a serious injury, and you knew that it was all over. Of course, it happened a little later in your career. And Tommy John was over 30 when he got the news that a rare rupture of the tendon in your pitching elbow, and you just better forget it, young man. Think of something else to do. And here he is, 3 outs away from completing the most important victory in his baseball life. He's been the stopper all season long. The Dodgers' longest losing streaks were 4. It happened twice. John stopped both many losing streaks, not with his bat, but with that now healthy left elbow. I got to see Tommy this winter and ask him about his batting style. Looks like he took a chapter out of the Bob Buell school of hitting with a minor from Dean Chance. But Tommy, you know, that's really true, Dickie. What a display of courage that he put on to come back. He was out the whole 1975 season, just 10-10 last year. Lopes 0 for 2, 2 line drive outs. And this year, at the age of 34, 20 games, first time ever against 7 losses. In the bottom of the 9th inning, Philadelphia has Sizemore, Boone, and Mcbride scheduled. And the Dodgers, who are not in the dugout, are ready to celebrate. 1-2 on Davey Lopes. You can bet your bottom dollar that in that Philadelphia 9th, they will root on every pitch like they've never rooted before. Crowd of just under 65,000. It missed by only 76 of 65,000 on a terrible night in Philadelphia. Cold, rain throughout the course of play. But these Philly fans have stuck with their club right to the 9th. Some have left now, but the majority are still packed in under the roofs.
Now the Dodgers have a very special cheerleader here for the World Series, and he's a fellow who would have played a key figure in this 1974 series. And right now, Tony Kubek's going to talk with him.
Should the Oakland A's win the World Championship again in 1974, it could be because of the elbow you're looking at right now. It belongs to Tommy John, who at All-Star break was the winningest pitcher in the National League. And Tommy, you had a 13-3 record. You never picked up another victory after that.
Right, Tony. I tried to pitch. I think I waited about 8 or 9 weeks and rested some and tried to come back and throw. And it just got to the point to where, I could throw maybe 3/4 speed. But whenever I tried to get the little extra pop on the ball that you need to get guys out like Jackson and Bando, etc., I just couldn't do it, and I couldn't throw a good curveball. And I think I have to have both of them to win. And it just came down to the point that the season was growing short, and I had to make a decision to get my arm operated on, or try to maybe play in the series, etc. And I felt the longer I waited, the more it would take me into spring training. So we decided about the 1st of September to get my arm operated on, and at the 25th, Dr. Frank Jobe went in and reconstructed my left elbow.
All right, you sat on the Dodger bench in uniform last night. Al Downing pitched your ball game. Were you agonizing through it all?
Well, yes, because I'll tell you why. I've always pitched well against Oakland, and I've always pitched well in this ballpark. And it's a great ballpark to pitch in during the night games. And a matter of fact, I can't recall, maybe I've only lost 2 or 3 games to Oakland when I was with the White Sox. And they're a good ball club to pitch against, and I think they're challenging. And, you know, and I sat there, and a lot of people said, you know, this was your game. But, you know, I just try to think of it. You know, Jackson 2 years ago was out for the series because of his pulled hamstring. And I like to think maybe this is going to happen to me, where I can come back next year and play next year.
Tommy John, I hope you do come back as an important factor in the National League and for this ball club, the Dodgers.
I'm sure I will, Tony. Thank you.
Good luck. Let's go back upstairs.
1-2 the count to Mcbride. He struck him out. The Los Angeles Dodgers are the National League Eastern Division champions. Tommy John going the distance. A brilliant job by Tommy John. Finished with 8 strikeouts, and the Dodgers will go on to the World Series to play either the Kansas City Royals or the New York Yankees. The Los Angeles Dodgers doing what has been a very tough task for any club this year, winning 2 here at Veterans Stadium, where the Phillies had such a phenomenal record. There you see Norristown's Tom Lasorda. Is he excited? Hugging his ball players as the Dodgers have won the 1977 National League Championship, beating the Phillies 3 out of 4 games.
A steady downpour and the pitching of Tommy John ended the Phillies season. A devastating setback that had a carryover to the championship series in '78.
What happens after 2 years is you start getting labeled that you have a good team, but you can't win big games. And you expect things to happen, negative. And believe it or not, if you think negative things will happen on the baseball field.
The next night, conditions were as dreary as the mood. A game-long rain fell, and a city watched helplessly as their glorious season washed away.
Beat. We'll be back next year, and the only people I'm really concerned, I mean, feel they got cheated are Danny and the fans here. They never quit on us.
Well, basically that's why, you know, we wanted to win it. We wanted to win it for the fans. They've come out all year. They come out in this weather. You know, they sat through tonight. They were behind us 100%. You know, you want to win it for them.
Do you feel it all jinxed, Greg, not winning a playoff game here for 2 years?
No, not at all. It just came down to the simple fact that we didn't hit. You know, it's simple as that.
And ain't no sense sitting around worrying about one play or one call, you know, one call by the umpire or anything like that. It comes right down to, hey, we got to hit. If we're as good as people say we are, and we deserve to be in the World Series, and we're the best team in baseball and all that business, we've got to prove it right out there with our bat.
As long as the game goes on, they're going to continue to say strange things happen in the game of baseball, and they do. They really do.
You see a lot of goofy things in this game. I guess that's what keeps it interesting, keeps 60 million people watching it.
That's why baseball is the #1 game in America today, because you don't know what's going to happen. We're 1 out, 2 strikes away from winning the game, and the roof caves in. So, you know, that's why we're the #1 sport. I think that's why we're going to be the #1 sport.